You commented that you're worried about retention, and I had recently posted on Facebook an article from Navy Sports about, and the headline read, "Naval Academy, one of top 10 schools in graduating student athletes."
Mm-hmm.
And
96%.
yep, and my mentor and peer, who worked at down in Pensacola, he's now a retired '06, commented, "and the highest failure rate per officer commissioning source for naval aviation." Is
Yep.
which I found, made my jaw drop. Like, what? So, it sounds like the focus on graduation is not trickling down to the fleet. And I don't know if you have any insight into those post-graduation statistics, but I'd be interested in hearing about it if you did.
It's one of those things where there's a couple of things to unpack on that. And yes, I have some insight now. I want to try and figure out how to answer that in about 45 seconds or less. So bear with me as I try and stumble through this. There's definitely a push to make sure we keep people and they graduate. And yes, the Naval Academy touts that. That has the admissions. They have put a lot of things in place to help students with academics, the additions to the writing center, tutoring, additional remediation, in the hall. A lot of that actually happens. All right. Now, specifically on aviation, because I was involved in this, when I arrived, the senior aviator was taking a look at it, and we had gotten the numbers from flight school, which were atrocious. And there's a couple of things going on. First, there's a lot of NFO draft because they start at the Naval Academy. They can now get LASIK surgery. So people who are quality people who used to go NFO get LASIK and now go pilot. All right. Another dynamic. When I graduated, there were 493 YARCH surface warfare officers selected. When we are selecting aviators now, between Navy pilot and NFO and Marine pilot, we're selecting over 400 midshipmen to go aviation. So yes, and only about 250-ish for surface warfare.
Still have how is that possible?
30.
Where are all the SWOs coming from now? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
And here's the whole thing. Remember, when I came in, I came in under the buildup to the 600 ship Navy.
Oh.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we had over 500 ships when we, in the late 80s, early 90s, when we entered the fleet. There are under 300 ships right now. Yeah. We don't have the ships. They don't have it, but we have the demand signal from aviation. So there is an NFO draft going on that has had to go on for people who didn't want to go aviation. Well, let's be honest. If you don't want to go aviation, whether it's pilot or NFO, you're going to wash out. So I want to
let me stop you right there and sit with that for a moment. We're having to talk people into going aviation?
Yeah. Oh, yes. There is a recruiting problem for naval aviation. That is a true statement.
That's a change.
That's crazy.
Surface warfare has done an amazing job recruiting kids. They use leadership, small unit leadership immediately, and getting your own division, and they liquor midshipmen up on it, and they are doing a phenomenal job of it. And they are getting highly talented, qualified kids who want to go surface warfare.
And now they're getting them on crew rest even.
And Rob, I hear you, but so they're not an
Go SWO.
There's two different things going on that look related, but are really not. And I only know that because, again, I saw behind the green curtain and know what the numbers are and know what's actually driving it.